Hello, my friends, and welcome to Kitsune Readings, where your questions find answers. Hello, everyone. Ryukamai here. I'm going to show you Nintendo Power number 40. This is from September 1992. So I'm going to give you a good look at what life in gaming was like in the 1990s. When you open it up, you have Want More Power. Now, this was advertising, of course, for the Nintendo Power magazine, which you would get a subscription to from way back then. Now, Felix the Cat was a very old cartoon. I believe he's in the public domain now. You have the Power of Choice, Nintendo magazine advertisement for the Super Nintendo. It was just $99.99 back then. Right? And we have the table of contents here. We've got Felix the Cat, Prince of Persia, and Little Samson for the NES. The Jetsons Robot Panic, Dr. Franken, Kingdom Crusade, and Barbie Game Girl for the Game Boy. And for the Super NES, we had Dino City, Soul Blazer, Monopoly and Clue, and Gypsy on the magazine. Hey, get off of there, Gyps. And Super Bowling. Now, I still have Super Bowling, and I have the box that goes with it. Now we have Player's Pulse. Now, a power player gets his wish. He met a person that was just as good as him at playing Super Mario Bros. Now, you got to write into the magazine, and they would print your letters. From time travel to space travel, Game Boys are everywhere. Where would you play? So, Player's Pulse is pretty interesting. And they talk about the different locations they'd like to play their Nintendo Game Boys. Now, this was back in the day of the original Game Boy, right? I'll show you Player's Pulse there. There's Mega Man, right? Sorry, my cat's in the way. And you can see some of the letters from when they were printing. Now, I may have to move my cat because she's really in the way. Gypsy. Girly cat. You're in the way, sweetie. Come here. I'm trying to make a video. Yeah, come here. I can't make a video when you're in the way. No. No, I don't want you on the table, Gypsy. Come here, Gyps. There you go. Gypsy, I'm trying to make a video here. Yeah, you need to stay out of the way. Unfortunately for me, my cat thinks I'm playing some kind of game with her now. So she's like trying to stay in the way as much as possible. So this is a strategy guide for playing Felix the Cat. Power up your pussycat, right? And it explains what the different items do that you can get. And they show the outlines of the different levels. they do the same with Prince of Persia. And many other games in the magazine. Excuse me for a sec. Had to move the cat. I could probably show it to you better this way, and Gypsy won't be in the way as much. So this is part of it, right? You could write in to the Nintendo Power magazine. This is some of the levels, right? And then if you look here, when Gypsy's not in the way, I'll show you some of the items here. Now, these are the items and power-ups you would get, right? And you'd have the levels here that you can see. Now, the VGN talked about this, but these were done by hand, like hand painted in for the most part. So you had level guides for different games, right? Now, Gypsy, here's some more level guides for Felix the Cat. I love the artwork for it. The next game we have coming up is going to be the Prince of Persia game. It's a pretty incredible thing that Felix the Cat was made into a video game, right? I'm gonna have to get a better camera for this one of these days. Now, Prince of Persia was a fairly popular game. A Princely Pursuit. This also had a version on the Super Nintendo, by the way. This is only guides from level 6 and 7. So this is the later version of the game. The rest of the guide is probably in an earlier issue. The Final Duel. Saving the Princess. Here's a guide for Little Samson. Now, Little Samson, I don't know a lot about. I don't think I really played that one much when I was younger. Imperial 4G. The Fearless Fighters. Samson, Dragon, Mouse, and Golem. And you can see the different level guides here. I was thinking showing this to you guys would be awesome. Sorry, Gypsy's always in the way. You probably hear her meowing. You've got Skeleton Stampede, Stage 5, 6, the Volcano, Takid's Castle, Stage 8. Classified information. Now, this is where we would have different things like codes and secrets, right? And so we'd look at this like Water Run. From Agent 938, Water Run Age of Champions. And the Monaco track in this racer borders on a large body of water. And you want to test your water racing skills, you can break out onto the water in one section of the track. About halfway through the course, situated between the track and the water, you'll see a place where two barricades meet, pictured below. Race into the small space between at full speed, and you'll skid out onto the water. Agents have not found a way to use the water as a shortcut. Secret sound test and Smash TV. Oh man, these things were awesome. Tiny Toon Adventures UFO sighting. Spy Hunter Extra Car Roulette. Secrets for the Rocketeer game. Oh, that game's poo. I have that game, by the way. I had an NES one anyway. Thunder Spirits, Panic Restaurant, Turtles 3 in Manhattan. So you can make it randomly select your turtle for Turtles 3. Now here's a Legend of Zelda comic that came in this issue. Gypsy. Which is pretty funny. I'd show you this in greater detail if my cat wasn't in the way. This is pretty neat, actually. You can see the Link Fairy. Appears to be fighting some kind of boss. This is actually pretty cool to go through and look at this stuff. Now, if you want me to go through and show you the Zelda comic in greater detail, let me know in the comments and I will do that. Next we have the Hanna-Barbera Superstars, the Jetsons in Robot Panic. Gypsy, you're in the way, kitty. This is a Game Boy game. And it looks like you get to play as each one of the characters in the game, which is actually pretty cool. Sorry about the cat, she's being difficult. Now you have Big Castle, Small Monster, Dr. Franken. Another Game Boy game. No, wait, this one was for the NES, I think, actually. No, it's a Game Boy game. And they had maps and strategy guides. You know what's really cool is the fold-out poster in here is still in here because they didn't, like, the person that had the magazine before me didn't rip it out. And it's for Spider-Man. Now, this fold-out poster has Carnage in it, so I believe it's for Maximum Carnage. Now, the next thing we have is Kingdom Crusade for the Game Boy. Pretty neat strategy game, right? You have plains, castles, mountains, and forests. Oh, actually, it's not a strategy game. It's sort of an action game. You just select where you're going to go. And it has the world map, which I just showed you. The Crusaders. We have the king, the queen, the wizard, the bowman, the giant, and the paladin and the knight. It's a pretty neat game, actually. Trying to work around my cat. These games are actually really cool. Next up we have the Barbie Gamer Girl. Our Barbie Game Girl magazine, right? So this gave you a strategy guide to the Barbie game. Now, my sister had the Barbie game, of course. She had the NES one, though, not the Game Boy one. And I think she had one on the Sega Genesis as well. She also had the Sega Genesis Disney Princess games, the Beauty and the Beast one, and the Little Mermaid one. Super Mario's Adventure. This is a comic with Super Mario in it. If you'd like me to make a video going over the comic and showing the panels and going over it in greater detail, let me know, and I'll make a video specifically for that purpose. They really did include some cool content in here. Next we have Counselor's Corner. Now what this was you would ask people what to do at Nintendo Power in games, and they would respond by telling you how to get there, right? So like they show the person here, right? And the person, I believe, is the person asking the question, and then they explain how you get past certain parts of a game. See, this is how we did things with before YouTube Let's Play videos. We had to write into magazines and then check the following month to see if they printed an answer to our question. We got questions about Dragon Warrior 3, Altered Space for the Game Boy, Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, 2 Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past questions. We got Nestor's Adventures. Nestor was actually a Nintendo Power mascot, and he has a bowling game, I think, on the Virtual Boy. Nintendo Power players. So if you finished a game, you would send in your screen, and they would print your name and the game you finished, then your score and whatnot in the magazine. How cool is that? Next, we have a guide to Dino City, another game that was on the Super NES. No, Gypsy, don't hiss. You're in the way, I'm making a video. Soul Blazer as another game. And there's a guide to that. I'm trying to show you like the whole magazine, but my cat's like not having it. I'm gonna have to move her again. Now with Soul Blazer, I think that was an RPG. I don't remember. This might have been on the Super NES. Yeah, Super Nintendo. And so, to beat certain games back then, you had to have the guide. Next, we have Clue from Parker Brothers. Let me move the cat. What are you doing, Gyps? No. So, Clue from Parker Brothers. Cat, you need to stay off of things, meow meow. Board game. Great, now my other cat's in the way. My cat, Mr. T. And Monopoly, of course, is in here. Now, here's Super Bowling that I talked about, which I still have, by the way. I have the box and the instructions to it as well. And it looks like that's the end of the magazine. Cat, get off of there. Ay caramba, cat. Anyway. We have Pack Watch, Roadrunner, Super Star Wars, Bart's Nightmare, WWF Steel Cage Challenge, Dragon Warrior 4, Super Batter Up Wing Commander, F-117A Stealth Fighter, the Japan Watch. These are games like Ogre Battle, Road Riot, Hunt for Red October, Phalanx, Mickey Mouse, Golden Fighter, Bionic Commando, things that were coming over from Japan at that time. You have The Legend of Zelda, Adventure Island, Out of This World, Super Mario Kart, special offers for strategy guides, Mario Mania, right? And things like that there. Now, Out of This World was a game that my older brother was very obsessed with. We have the LJN Sports Central, man, the AVGN always talks about how bad LJN is. That's a Game Boy game, by the way. The top 20 games at the time. So Mario Bros. 3 was still the top NES game at that time. For the Super NES, it was Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, and the top Game Boy game, number 1, was Metroid 2: Return of Samus. The players' picks, players' favorite games. So you would write in, and you would look at, you would tell Nintendo what your favorite games were, and they would print them in the magazine with your picture. How cool is that? So, celebrity profile, Tim Allen. Now, Tim Allen, you probably would remember most from Home Improvement and things like that. But anyway, more stuff from the Pack Watch. Sorry about my cats. I would put them in a whole different room, but if it weren't for the cats, there'd probably be nobody watching my videos. Anyway. Hopefully the cats bring in more views, right? And at the end is the Nintendo All-Stars, where it would show the 3 consoles they had out at the time, which would be the Super Nintendo, the NES, and of course the Game Boy. Now, this is a really fun thing for me to do. If you like seeing these magazines and talking about these old games, and you want to see more of the comics that are printed in here, let me know, and I will do that for you. I love and appreciate you guys. Thank you all for being here, by the way. Sorry you hear me yell at my cat. But, he's actually a very good cat. He's sitting on top of the Dreamcast right now. He probably wants food, even though I already fed him. Anyway, he's a good cat. I love you all, and I will see you all very soon. Have a great day.